Hello, this is the sugarcane rainfall outlook for the Burdekin region, updated on the 27th of April 2023. This outlook will cover the Burdekin sugarcane growing district in Queensland, first looking at recent conditions and then the rainfall outlook for the coming fortnight and the next 6 months out to October. On the next slide, on the right hand side there is a map showing the Burdekin sugarcane district in Queensland. On the left, we see rainfall totals for the month of April to the 25th. And we did see that heavy downpour on the 16th and 17th of the month, producing 167 millimeters of air in just one day, including 97 millimeters in an hour, pushing the monthly total at Ayr to 190 millimeters compared to the April average of 50. We did also see above average rainfall all the way up the coast of Townsville and then inland south along the Burdekin River. Next, looking at the chance of exceeding median rainfall in May on the left hand side, and then June to August on the right hand side. In May, there's a low to very low chance of exceeding median rainfall across the Burdekin district. In June to August, we see a low chance of exceeding median rainfall, so generally it is looking to be a dry outlook. On the next slide, we're looking at model accuracy based on past performance at that time of year, roughly looking at the percentage of times the model did get it right. In May, median rainfall forecasts are typically accurate 55 to 65% of the time, indicated by this green shade on the left. Similarly, in June to August, rainfall forecasts are 55 to 65% correct of most of the time. We do see a reduction in accuracy further inland we go. Next, we'll look at the rainfall outlook for the next 2 weeks, and it is looking dry, with southeasterly winds dominating, so not expecting to see any particularly heavy downpours, generally less than 10% chance of exceeding 25 millimeters each week for the next 2 weeks, so it is looking to be a dry start to the new month. On the next slide, we're looking at the rainfall outlook for the month of May as a whole. On the left, the 50% forecast chance versus the historical median on the right hand side. And just by eyeballing it, you can see the 50% chance is looking drier than the historical median for the Burdekin growing areas. Particularly see the difference here in the shades, oranges on the left and yellow on the right, indicating we are expecting a drier than average May. On the next slide, we're looking at the high scenario or 75% chance on the left and then the low scenario or 25% chance on the right. And a good way to think about this is that it is showing something similar to what the BOM rainfall app range does show. And so what we are seeing is that, for example, around Ayr, we are looking at, for the month of May, rainfall range between 1 to 5 millimeters and up to about 25 millimeters. It's been the 50%, middle 50% chance of possibilities. On the next hand side, we move on to June, the 50% forecast chance on the left versus the historical median on the right. Similar to May, it is looking like the 50% forecast chance is drier than the historical median, but just by eyeballing these differences in colours. On the next slide, again looking at the 75 to 25% chance, and it is looking to be, again, we're looking at quite low figures in the high chance, looking at possibly less than 1 millimeter as being the high chance, and up to, again, 25 millimeters as being the low chance. On the next, we look at the 3 months from June to August. Again, look at the 50% chance on the left versus the historical median. The 50% forecast chance is looking slightly below the historical median for the Burdekin and sugarcane growing areas as we compare these two maps. On the next slide, again look at the 75% chance to 25% chance scenarios. As we head into spring, at this stage, it's a little bit too early to give a confident prediction of what we're expecting, and we will be issuing further updates as we go. These maps do show the historical medians based on data from 1991 to 2020. We are, though, seeing some international models indicating close to median or possibly drier than typical as the most likely scenario for September and October. Finally, short-term weather watch points, and you are looking at 24-hour rainfall to 10 p.m. of both the 27th of April on the left and Friday the 28th of April on the right-hand side. And for the most part, we could see a couple of coastal showers for the Burdekin area, but then heading into the first couple of days of May, we are expecting to see things dry out quite quickly. But as always, check the latest forecast and warnings on the Bureau's website or on the BOM weather app. That's it for this outlook. Be sure to send your feedback through to agriculture@bom.gov.au, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.